Cowboys got to do it.
On the fake, on the slant, it's Denzel Mims, and the Bears take the lead.
And they believe that they're the best in the country at blocking kicks.
Casey leg, sure enough on cue. The Baylor defense gets the stop, and the Baylor Bears are 8-0.
Baylor got the Big 12 weekend started early with a big home win over West Virginia on Thursday night. The Bears are now 8-0 and are the league's only undefeated team. I'm Aaron Pryor. This is Big 12 Big Football presented by Dr. Pepper. We've only got 2 games this Saturday, but they both feature teams that are coming off of big wins from a week ago. Quick peek at the standings as they sit entering Saturday. The Longhorns and Cyclones are off this week, but are right there with 3 league wins. K-State and Oklahoma State have a chance to get bowl eligible this weekend. West Virginia, Kansas, and Texas Tech are all still in contention to also become bowl eligible. We'll start in Stillwater, where 2 teams fresh off of much-needed late October wins get together. TCU and Oklahoma State needed wins in a bad way. The Frogs are in off a huge win in Fort Worth over number 15 Texas. Oklahoma State went up to Ames and knocked off previously number 23 Iowa State. The Cowboys had that balanced delivery company style of offense working on Saturday, moving the ball on the ground and through the air. Chuba pushed his streak of at least 100 yards on the ground to 6 straight games. That's the longest active streak in the FBS. Spencer Sanders hit on 67% of his passes, and the Cowboys seem to have regained that offensive groove. Part of that was Braden Johnson showing up in a big way. Only had 3 catches in the game, but he made them count. No catch was bigger than this wide receiver screen he took 50 yards to the house back in the second quarter. Let's look at this from above. Oklahoma State ran this play to death on Saturday. Johnson catches it and right there, turns and sees Dylan Stoner is about to engage the DB. Logan Carter is getting set up in front of the other crashing DB. Johnson chooses to go inside of Stoner's block instead of around the sideline side, and all that's left is the Jets on Johnson to get the ball into the end zone. For TCU, that Horned Frog defense continued to make his presence felt, constantly bringing pressure and making Sam Ehlinger uncomfortable to the tune of 4 QB hurries, 6 pass breakups, and most importantly, 4 interceptions by the Frogs. Ardarius Washington snagged one of those. He's got 3 interceptions now on the year. That's tied for the team lead and the most picks by a freshman in Gary Patterson's 19 years at the helm. Another big part of Saturday's win was the play of Tay Barber. TB had 5 catches for 94 yards in that game. No touchdowns, but Duggan went back to Barber time and time again. Because of injuries, he's had minimal impact through the first 5 games, but these last 2 have given us a taste of what Barber can bring when healthy on a consistent basis.
You know, Tay Barber's a guy that, was really came down to he decided between us and Clemson. And so he was a really good player, wanted to stay close to home, liked our scheme. And to be honest with you, he had a great spring, not a good one, but a great spring. He can play multiple positions on the wide receiver core.
He made a big jump, took on the role, in spring, play inside and outside. I think he handled it very well. Being able to play on the outside as a smaller receiver and just his intermediate routes, just, like I said, just being able to read coverages and growing up mentally.
Max Duggan was spectacular for the Frogs and was named the Big 12 Freshman of the Week for his efforts. Duggan will face an OSU pass defense that's given up 274 yards a game to this point, and a pass rush that's had a hard time getting home this season. Oklahoma State and TCU, 2:30 p.m. on ESPN. The other Saturday afternoon game, Kansas State will travel over to Lawrence to take on Sunflower Showdown rival Kansas over on Fox Sports 1. Both of these teams are coming in off of big-time wins. We'll start with the home team. Kansas scored its first homecoming win since 2009 with a thrilling win over Texas Tech, the Jayhawks' first win over Tech since 2001. Stephon Robinson Jr. has shown up in a big way of late. The junior receiver has 18 catches for 382 yards and 6 scores in the last 3 games. That's the most touchdowns over a 3-game span in the country. And how about senior quarterback Carter Stanley? You can't say enough good things about the kid. Tough as nails and phenomenal throwing the ball again on Saturday. Over his last 3 games, Stanley is completing 63% of his passes and has thrown for 10 touchdowns in that stretch. Plus, KU's red zone defense has come up clutch and leads the Big 12, allowing only 33 scores on 40 attempts. It's not easy to do, and the Jayhawks have held strong all year. For K-State, it was mayhem in Manhattan as the Wildcats defeated Oklahoma last Saturday, led once again by the efforts of Skylar Thompson. Yeah, he threw for 213 yards, but Thompson had the most impact on the game with his legs. He only ran the ball 13 times, but scored 4 touchdowns on those 13 attempts. Time and time again, Thompson found open lanes and took advantage. He's now tied for 8th in the country with 7 rushing touchdowns by a quarterback. Kansas State's defense has also been formidable. K-State is 1st in the league in passing yards allowed per game and 2nd in the league in rushing yards allowed per game. Rivalries always throw the stats out the window, but you can't ignore how good the Wildcat defense has been and how much Kansas relies on Puka Williams and Carter Stanley to get things going. This should be a fantastic matchup in Lawrence. 2:30 p.m. You're going to need that second screen to be able to watch both games on Saturday. Now, let's take a look back at the best of the best from Week 9. Here are your top plays.
Milton Gardner in at running back. He gets the ball at 2nd and 5. Some room for Gardner. Gardner inside the 10. Touchdown Gardner. 32-yard score. Oklahoma shows blitz. Here they come. Quarterback draw. Skylar Thompson, one-on-one. Breaks a tackle. Touchdown. Third down and 2. Sanders throws, caught. Wallace across the 30, lowers the helmet, and Wallace still going. Wallace in a foot race, a stiff arm. Did he stay in bounds? Is he still in? He is! Touchdown, Tylan Wallace. He took shot after shot, would refuse to go down, did not go out of bounds, and a big hit of 71 yards. Touchdown, Cowboys. Liam Jones from 32. What an ending for this Kansas football team.
Thanks for watching, everyone. We are officially in Championship November. We'll see you next week for another episode of Big 12 Big Football.